Skrit absconded with my inventory, but I tracked them back to their cave.
So you were able to retrieve your merchandise,
Couldn't even find it. Their nest looked like someone took 7 separate labs and packed them all together like a snowball.
I'm ruined. Skrit lured me from my lab, locked me out, and picked the place clean.
You were outsmarted by Skrit?
I wasn't outsmarted. I was outmaneuvered.
Call it what you like. A pack of gibbering, noisome animals still got the best of you.
There were a lot of them.
Oh, I just said wave instead of /wave. Alright, hello everybody. This is actually take 2 for this video because I'm an idiot and I just was recording without having activated the recording. So yes, welcome everybody. Howdy, howdy, howdy. We are back. Bracht's home. And not just home because I want to show you stuff that's cool about Unassuming, but home because genuinely we're meant to be here in the story. We've arrived with Chahern, the Silvari firstborn, and we've got some important stuff to do with Professor Gore. Now, I thought I'd take this opportunity just to talk about some other stuff while we're here. Right now, we are at the main trading area for the Asura. Why did I almost say Silvari there? For the Asura players. So here you've got the trading post, you've got the banks and stuff. I did show you this off very briefly before. But over here is a place we never went to. Now, this is below the statics dormitories. And remember, we are static. So this is kind of a special place for Bracht. So I thought I'd show it off. And indeed, we get to speak to our peers. This one in particular is really fun to speak to, Zune.
Excelsior.
Who says, the likes of you talking to the likes of me, Savant? I'm honored. I figured by now you'd have made a nest for yourself in one of Zodja's ears. So yeah, they will actually communicate. I mean, this idea that we're in a nest with Zodja, we were hanging out with a lot with her, and she was very nice, but I think she's very driven as a member of Destiny's Edge. Like, probably more driven, I think, than any of the others. But she's just selfishly minded. Like, everything she's doing is about taking out the dragons on her own and Snaf's legacy. Snaf. She only went to the Cordicus Manor thing, where we did see her quite recently, because of Snaf's involvement, and some mysterious person is messing with Snaf's stuff that we still don't quite know. So I don't know, maybe one day we'll have a nest with her? I'm independent, though I do work with her occasionally, Bracht says. He says, perhaps, but it won't be long before you're giving orders to lab assistants like me instead of exchanging greetings. I'll look back on this fondly one day when that comes. I knew you when. You do that. What I love about this dialogue is I'm sure we can all relate to that feeling with our boss or whatever. But this guy's actually quite old, so that they still have like this optimistic feeling that they got this long career ahead of them and all that stuff, even though, you know, we're the upstart about to overtake them. I kind of like that. I don't know. It makes me feel warm. So here you go. Check it out. This above us is actually the stacks area. You can see a stacks apprentice up there. And as Unassuming is, you know, there's the layers, are actual real layers that are explorable. But here underneath, this is actually a crafting area. So it's statics that have all the crafting stations for the weapons in the game. So here, huntsmen, whether they're statics members or humans or Silvari or whatever, they can come here, right? So huntsmen's for the bows and rifles and things, artificing for magically inclined weapons, and over here weaponsmithing for more martial style weapons. This is kind of what happens down here. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to come here was not just because Bracht should quite like it, but also you get these balconies. This balcony is probably the most interesting one in the entire game, and it's because, as you can see, of this Asura gate, which, as we walk up to, you actually notice there's an invisible wall here, and it's deactivated. Now, sneaky around the back of the Asura gate, you do find this guy here, Reg.
Always be loyal to your crew.
Involving the Peacemaker golems?
None that I'm at liberty to discuss.
Just give me some warning before you activate anything.
Wow, okay, that's kind of creepy. So they're talking about the golems. Does that mean one of these peacemakers works with the Inquest? It's so corrupt here in Unassuming. It's so corrupt. But the Asura don't see any difference. They really don't care. Anyway, so look, we're going to speak to Reg.
Excelsior.
And he says, if you're attempting to get through this gate, it'll be a short trip to a long fall. It's not fully functional yet. So, yeah, I mean, there's an invisible wall there, at least the devs put there to stop players actually doing this. And ironically, you have to come around the back to the edge to be able to get that dialogue. But, yeah, you'd fall off of the edge of the city. When will this gate be up and running, we ask? And he says, soon as I get the parts I need. Say, you don't happen to have an extra spatial discombobulator on hand, do you? What a spatial discombobulator does, I don't know. But I feel like I've heard that in other areas outside of Guild Wars as, like, a classic piece of technobabble. Can't say that I do, I'm sorry. But yeah, so basically he's building a gate, and if you have a look at the point of interest we're actually at a place called the Polymock Atrium. Now, Polymock is something I mentioned on the previous video, and you guys might be scratching your head a little bit wondering about. So, back in Guild Wars 1, they released an expansion called Eye of the North, and the whole point of Eye of the North was to introduce characters, places, themes, ideas for the sequel, for Guild Wars 2. So it was in Eye of the North that the Asura were introduced. It's in Eye of the North that the origin story of the Sylvari was introduced. All of that stuff to bridge the gap between the two games. So everything they put in Eye of the North seemed to be hinting at a Guild Wars 2 feature, basically. One of the big things about the Asura in Eye of the North was they had like a mini game they played together called Polymock. And the idea was, it was kind of like Pokemon in that it was a very turn-based game, but played with miniature models of things like the mini pets we have here. And, you know, you'd trade them and you'd compete and you'd gamble with them. Whoever won got to take a piece from their opponent. Generally speaking, a really fun game that would work super well in a big open world MMO. So we were all looking forward to it. And then when the game released, well, the Asura gates never quite functioned. If we press M, you can actually see off over the mountains, sort of to where we can look, there is a place called the Polymock Arenas, and you can see that there's stuff here, but because the gate isn't up, the players have never been able to go there. So all we can really do is look off to the mountains and wonder what things may have been like. Now, technically speaking, you can kind of bug the game and trick things, and especially when we get to the expansions, Bracht will have so many cool ways of traversing the environment. We might be able to get there anyway, but there's no content there. There's nothing to actually do. And it's a bit like the archery shootout from Divinity's Reach, really, in the it was a cool thing we were hoping for, and to this day, he hasn't had the spare parts he needs. Will he get them? Hopefully, but so far, there's not really been any sign that that's going to be happening. So yeah, that's Polymock. That's what I was mentioning before. That's the full story with that, really. Let's move on now. So, yes, we are back home to do a very quick recap of the story. It's very loud here. Let's check it out. So, if you remember, last episode, with the Order of Whispers, we decided to check out our contacts. One of our contacts is Professor Gore. Last time we were home, we were dealing with Professor Gore. This was the Asura scientist who put forward the theory that the Elder Dragons aren't purely mindless, that they are gathering magic and consuming it. To which the counselors, who had already figured this out, didn't like that he was spreading that information and that was becoming common information. The Asura counselors wanted to hoard it so that the Asura would have the upper hand over all the other races, and they enacted their secret police, the Arcane Eye, to hide everything. They stole Gore, they faked his death, and we, with the Order of Whispers, got him back. And then we left. We went off and started dealing with other things, but what has Gore been doing in the meantime, you might wonder? Well, as it happens, very important stuff. Gore knows the truth about the dragons, and Gore, perhaps above all other characters in the game, is going to make some discoveries that may help us take the fight back against them. Let's do the story. Magic sucks. And this is about where I was a second ago in the video, where I realized I hadn't been recording. Okay, so here we go. And Johan's come along, because he feels freaking guilty and sad and whatnot about the fact that Tibble's dead, but also, we all know his wild hunt, and that he's pretty much tied to Ore as much as we are. So yeah, we come through here. We're at the Advanced Metaphysics Labs, does that say? I can't see because of the starburst.
Gore's waiting by his lab. Approach cautiously. Something seems amiss.
But yeah, so this is another place off on the edge of Unassuming that I'm not sure we can really go to outside of this instance. It did have like a red cross mark over it, so maybe it's only here. But Johan's waiting, so hey dude.
Remain strong.
And we're pretty far away from the city here, really. Gore looks beside himself. Is it me? Or does his lab seem to be full of Orion undead? And we can respond by saying, don't worry, I know Gore. I'm sure he has this situation handled. So this dialogue, this decline dialogue here, this changes based on whether you're an Asura or not. I'm sure we do know. So, yeah, let's head on over and see what he's got to deal with. Yeah, there's abominations in there. That's pretty bad. Hey, he's just pacing around. Hey, Gore, do you want to explain yourself? Oh, what a guy this was.
As you can see, there's trouble. Yes, look all you like. The doors are transparent. There are risen in my lab. I'm developing a weapon based on my theory of draconic enchanto consumption. Essentially, it removes the magic from a person or object, poisons it, and then transfers it back. Hypothetically, the vacuum magic polarizer will reverse the magical essence of Zaitan's tangible will within the Risen and therefore destroy them.
A cunning idea. Does the weapon work?
Theoretically. My associates at the Upsilon facility sent me test subjects, but the creatures got away, as you can see.
Wow.
Don't worry, Gore. Give me one of your prototypes and we'll kill 2 blights with 1 stone, testing the weapon while clearing the lab.
This way to the vacuum magic polarizers. Follow me.
Gore, are you there?
Who was in this? Someone's trying to communicate with him through the intercom. Look how scary that room is. We're just gonna release all them. What's he got? He's got grubs in there. He's got crate in there. Oh dear. Okay, so Trahan, he says, I look forward to seeing this weapon's capabilities. This must be quite impressive. So, I mean, this really is. If you think of the idea of dragons in traditional fantasy, what are they? They're greedy, they're hungry, they're just devouring. And if Gore's right about the dragons in this universe as well, it's that they do that, but not for gold, but for magic. Yeah, the idea that you could poison magic and send it back into them, that would be a pretty big victory, at least against the minions, but maybe even higher up the hierarchy. Hey, Gore, you were ignoring someone there. What's all this then? He says, go on, grab a vacuum magic polarizer from the weapon rack, and let's get started. I like the way how he speaks really slowly and scatterbrained. As easy as that, huh? All right, then. So I don't know how much chance I'll get to speak in this instance, by the way, guys, because I think that once this starts, he just keeps going and going. But let's see. So, we're going to take a gun.
Beautiful, aren't they? The first button fires a basic defrastic bolt. The simple bolt will grow more powerful as the polarizer is charged. The second button activates the vacuum magic inhalation, sucking magic from the target. This charges the polarizer. The weapon can store up to 3 charges. The weapon depolarizes any enchantments it holds, and the third button empties those charges into a mighty arcane arrow. Fully charged, it packs a mighty wallop. Take the polarizer to the lab, and we'll quantify a test subject.
All right, okay, so yeah, our skills are pretty basic. This is easiest to understand, reading from right to left. So first, you've got blowback. This adjusts the vacuum magic's polarization from suck to blow, knocking back up to 3 targets. So we just press this and it pushes people away. That's all that is. And then we get another skill like that. Kick. Knock back your foe with a kick. So that's not even using the gun, we just kick them. That's very warrior-like there as well. And it recharges really quickly, it pushes them back. So basically, these 2 are just simple skills that move the mobs away from you. The auto attack just does a bit of damage, but does more damage the more that you charge the gun up. And the main thing is this. Inhalation draws the enchantment from the target, storing energy as a charge, usable once per target. You see it says draws the enchantment? That's like such Guild Wars 1E terminology. The idea being, it's not really, I don't think the idea is that all Risen are enchanted. It's just that maybe they have artifacts on them that are enchanted, or you could consider the magic within them as they are enchanted somehow. But the point is, we pull the magic off of them, and it makes our autos stronger, and also gives us access to this. So you get Arcane Arrow with 1 suck, which is blast foe with a massive attack. Or you can suck twice, blast foe with a cone attack using all the charges. Or finally, the anti-arcanic arrow, a massive overloaded crazy time wallop. So what we're going to do is just keep sucking, autoing, and then eventually blow this up in several times. And we got a lot of undead to deal with, so hopefully this will actually go well here. Charan, what do you think of all this? He says, you test the weapon. If things get bad, I'll be here to lend a hand. Okay. We still get our utility skills as well, so I'm not going to use the grenade kit here, because what's the point? So how about we have double elixirs, and we will put like a rifle turret down as well, maybe. That'll help us out with the supply crate. That seems pretty cool to me. All right. Gore?
I'll open the color spectrum filter, allowing only certain wavelengths to pass. That way, they'll come out in small groups. Green, then blue, red last, of course. The most dangerous things are always the red ones. Ready? Here we go.
Oh my god, I think so. All right, here we go. So we got grubs.
I would be surprised if Zaitan even bothers with controlling its lesser minions. They do nothing but destroy.
Rock Dog came out. That's amazing. So we're going to use the 2. Oh my god, they really hurt. Jesus, let's drop our turret. And now you'll notice that I've got this, the anti-arcanic arrow, because I sucked from all 3 of them at once. So let's see what it looks like. Boom, and it does some good damage.
Analytical physical metrics seem favorable. Try charging the polarizer 2 or 3 times before you fire. Your output should grow exponentially. Next filter disengaged. Time for the blue ones. Ah, blue. The color of oceans and my artichokes. The ones I made while dabbling in organic chemistry.
These seem to be more powerful.
Accelerate!
They also hold a larger quantity of magic. More of Zaitan's will, perhaps?
Oh my god. Okay, so there, I'm using my F1 to create a water field and then blowing up the turret.
Gore? Sir, are you there? Epsilon facility to Gore.
Ow, this is really bad. These crate hurt, and I'm trying to not kill them too quick so that we can actually listen to the dialogue. Oh my god, it's okay. We've actually done a ton of damage just through all of our passive stuff. Okay, so...
The vacuum magic polarizer is doing even better than anticipated. We're out of beta. This is fantastic. Releasing the red filter. These should be the worst of them, if my apprenticeship taught me anything at all.
Indeed. These creatures are acting with more self-will. Zaitan's infused them with tremendous energy. See how the weapon affects them?
Hello, Gore. Hey, look! A gorilla! A gorilla for Gore!
Wait, a gorilla for Gore? Who is that speaking on the intercom? We can actually come into the lab now. I'm really kind of scared of the A-bomb, so what I want to do is suck a ton of magic from these little guys. Oh god, it's charging. Alright, and then I want to fire the big one at the A-bomb. Like so. Yeah, nice. Oh my god, and it totally got destroyed. Let's kick this one away as well. Nice. Oh, you can kick multiple people. We can blow them away as well, like so. Suck more. And now let's use a quickness arcanic arrow.
I'm brilliant. It works beautifully. The vacuum magic polarizer is ready for ore.
Ready for more? You heard him, apprentices. Get back onto the teleporter pad.
What? No! I said ore, not more. Ah, this intercom's a mess.
What's that? Time to send the rest? Okay, incoming!
Okay, and we get another wave here. So over there, you'll see another new variety of enemy. That's a risen gorilla. So those are seriously badass beasts that you should only ever find in ore. And this one's come out already. Luckily, we have this ridiculous gun that we can blow up before it does anything too dangerous. The way I'm balling them all up around the corner here is allowing me to suck a ton of magic away. Oh, God. Okay, no, that's not a cliff. We're fine. So we will be okay, but we want to be careful of gorillas as they start filtering into the story more and more later. Pretty easy, all things told.
Magnificent. The vacuum magic polarizer destroyed the Risen. And my lab. Oh well, that's what apprentices are for.
Your weapon was extremely effective against the servants of Zaitan. It'll be instrumental in recapturing Claw Island.
I'll take the prototypes to Lion's Arch immediately. It's the least I can do. The Order of Whispers saved my life.
Yes, we did.
Will you be all right cleaning up here, Gore?
Yes, yes. Once my apprentices return from the Epsilon facility, I'll put them on it. And mental note. Fix oral relay on the intercom.
Ah, lovely.
I dreamed of ore, as Kaith did. But where she saw a dragon to fight, I saw a land to heal. At least Kaith had a tangible target. I barely knew where to begin. Such brave people willing to risk so much. But do we even have a chance at victory?
Okay, what are you thinking, Trahan?
Lightbringer, the Orions are firmly entrenched. It will be incredibly difficult to regain Claw Island.
But we have this gun now.
We can't give up hope, Trahan.
I haven't. In fact, I'm counting on hope to lead the way. To that end, we should ask for wisdom from the Pale Tree. If anyone knows how to defeat Zaitan, it is the Mother. Meet me at the Grove, and we'll speak with her before the battle.
All right, so there you go. And, of course, Trahan is going to want to come back. There's an interesting moment here. If we were a Sylvari right now, and we speak to Trahan, You get a kind of cool bit of dialogue. So he says, that weapon is masterful. It will greatly aid our efforts on Claw Island after we speak with the Pale Tree. Bracht doesn't really know much about the tree. So Bracht says the Pale Tree, and he says the Pale Tree is the mother of the Silvari race. She's the memory of our people, the collected knowledge of generations. She will aid us. How can she help us? And he says the cleansing of ore. She's often aided me when all seemed at its darkest. And we say if she's as wise as you, then this is the right decision. Very charming. He says, you are too kind, Bracht. Thank you. So if you're a Silvari at this point, you don't ask the Pale Tree. You say, why are you so sure about this? And he describes going back there as like the start of a journey for him. And I really like that because it's kind of like you can feel how the story starts to shift from defensive to offensive almost. Like the later half of really thinking about ore itself starts coming in. But we missed that because we're Bracht. Now, Gore as well, I believe, should have some other things for us to say. As his lab is well and truly ruined. To be honest, he seemed a bit miffed about that, but it seemed pretty broken before we even got here.
Hello.
Hello, he says, well done, I'm positively overjoyed. Such suction, such destruction. I know, it's pretty good. How have you been? Well, and so we get to say this because we met him before, and he says, well, I certainly haven't been lonely thanks to your cohorts at the Order of Whispers. They treated me kindly. I hope you're rested. You'll need to be ready for Claw Island. And so, yeah, he will come with us to Claw Island. And this gun, and you guys saw how strong this was, we will get this in future story missions. We leveled up again, by the way. We're now level 69. And the game's teaching us about another mechanic here, which is over in Lion's Arch. So I don't want to worry about that just yet, since we're all doing Tarnished Coast story right now. But yeah. All right, so you guys know how this goes now, really. We are going to be checking out the Pale Tree. The fastest route probably still is a surrogate travel for Bracht, even though the grove is very close. The map that exists between the two areas of the world, this has never actually been added. So we can't just, like, walk through. You'd have to go up like this. So I'm going to go a surrogate instead, and I'll see you all in a second. I like the thought that Bracht right now is thinking of the Silvari the same as that gate guard. He's like, oh, I get stuck with the tree, children. Brilliant. All right. Hello.
Hail, Mother. We seek your wisdom.
Bide a while. I have much to show you both. Come to me. Let me show you the way.
Is it even possible to defeat Zaitan?
Only with great courage. Come. I will show you a vision of your future, and the challenges to come. It is time, my brave friends. Your future awaits.
So, just before we go in, I did have some stuff I wanted to talk about here in the grove. First of all, we can speak to the tree. And we get a lot of different options now because we are not Silvari. So we say, what do you mean vision? And she says, the portal before you is a passage into the dream. There you will see glimpses of the past, present, and future. What's the dream? I don't understand. The dream is the Silvari unconscious, the wellspring from which we flow. It holds our memories as well as our hopes and fears. I am its keeper, she says. And I can say, excuse me, who are you? She says, I am the avatar, the spirit of the Pale Tree that surrounds you. I'm the mother of the Silvari race. I am Tyria's ally, she claims to be. So, I mean, this would be kind of mind-blowing for the Asura, really, to be able to see. Will you and Traherne come? Traherne will come, but I will accompany you in spirit. And what will I see if I go through the portal? This we already read. Or as it is and was, some sense of how you may restore it, I hope. Scenes of the past may impact your future. Will I be in danger? Show courage and you will persevere, she says. Okay, so we get that. Traherne also says the Pale Tree wishes us to enter the dream as a dangerous honor. What do you mean? The dream is not reality, Bracht. It's made of memory, aether, and powerful magic. Even I do not understand it. The things within are as real as you or I. They will seek to do us harm. I question if I'm ready to see such truths. Now, last time I pondered, hey, can we actually get hurt here? And someone in the comments did point out, right at the start of the game when you're a Silvari, there are defeated and wounded and hurt saplings in the dream. So I think it does make sense that you can be hurt. Before we go in, I want to talk a little bit mechanically. I'm going to go behind the scenes for a second. Do you remember how I just told you that this map is not available to the game? Well, you might find it interesting that this red line here represents the boundary of the personal story instance we're currently in. But instead of just being around the grove and then also available somewhere down in ore, you'll notice it's a really weird shape where it springs out like this. And so the reason for that, quite interestingly, I think, is what the devs have done is they've sneakily loaded us not into the real grove. They've loaded us into a mirrored version of the grove. That it has the grove, yes, as we currently see, as we look around. You know, this is clearly the pale tree. But to the left, just out of vision here, they have literally dumped the vision of ore physically in the in-game spaces here. And what's actually going to happen behind the scenes, not in the story, but the way that the game works, is when we go into this portal, the portal is going to teleport us from this physical tree that I'm jumping on left to here. And you wouldn't expect it, and it doesn't unfog your map or anything, but the truth is that this is ore here, mechanically. And one kind of amazing thing happened as the game's been developed. That is, when I go to my graphics options, you'll notice down here we have these camera options. There were very poor camera options when the game was originally being developed. The devs had very tight control over the aesthetic of the game and how everything would look. But since then, players have asked for more and more and more control, and slowly the devs have given more and more and more control. One of them is this field of view slider. So if you actually max this out, you can get a lot more vision, and with a very high FOV slider, and if you stand just at the right place, you can actually see that over there that's not next to the grove. That's like Orion buildings and skyscrapers and things. And if you like look very carefully under these roots over here on the left, clipping in and out, that's like coral you can see under the cursor there. So yeah, it's kind of a fun thing. A weird little bit of trivia about the game. So technically you kind of can explore to the left of the grove. It's just in the actual game, there's not really anything there, and we're yet to find a real map that actually properly represents this area of the Tarnished Coast. Alright, with that weird trivia done that I was desperate to tell you about before, but I thought we'd immerse ourselves in the story the first time, let's go through the vision of ore. I'll see you guys all in a moment.
Ore is a dark and foul place. Even though I have been here, in truth, this vision is unsettling. Let us hurry. The pale tree has lessons yet to be revealed.
Where were you? We needed you. Snaff. I couldn't protect him. I can still hear him screaming.
They can't understand that the dragons are more important. They'd throw everything away. Alone. I'm tired.
Although my nation is drowned, a slow blood still pulses in its veins. Ore has nothing left to give, save ash and bones.
We came to fight Zhaitan. Can you give us counsel?
Zhaitan can be defeated, but that will not save Ore. The land must be cleansed of this poison. Seek the source.
Is Zhaitan the source? Or is there some other poison that fouls Ore? Please tell us.
Seek the source. Cleanse Ore. Seek the source.
Your last challenge on the road to Ara will be the Guardian of the Gate. Beyond this, I cannot foretell. Once before, I gave this sword to a beloved son. Now, I pass it on to you, Traherne.
Well done.
Once more, you stand on sacred ground. Remember what you have seen. Speak with me, and I will guide you.
Alright, we're back. Okay, so we've just left the vision, and the pale tree wants to talk to us. So here's Traherne. Remember before, we didn't quite get this dialogue. So he says, I'm newly inspired, yet I feel as if the burden of my wild hunt is growing ever heavier. And we can now ask him what's a wild hunt. He says, I am tasked by the dream to cleanse ore, so that it may grow and thrive once more. It's an impossible task. And we reassure him that that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. So, now the pale tree has a question for us, which is, Ore has had all hope stripped from it. To confront the dragon, you must first overcome your greatest fear, lest you be consumed by it. Tell me, what do you fear, Bracht? Alright, so, what were our options? That an innocent person who believed in me would die because I couldn't save them. That I would fail so grievously that I'd lose the respect of my comrades and be dishonored. Or that one day, through my actions, I'd condemn someone to suffer in agony. Well, I'm not sure as a kind of egotistical Asura you would actually care that much about this. I don't know, maybe I think of them as all too close to Inquest at this point. but lose the respect of my comrades and be dishonored? I don't know whether respect is a big thing for Bracht either, but Bracht surely understands the dangers of death, right? And surely Bracht understands how serious this is. So how about we go that an innocent person who believed in me would die because I couldn't save them. She says, you are a good person, Bracht. That you seek to protect the innocent shows your gentle heart. Hold fast to that earnestness. It will also be your strength. Thank you, Pale Tree. I'll remember your wisdom. So she's given us a hell of a lot of it. And now, one final bombshell.
The dragon seeks to destroy its enemies before they can strike. I see within the dream that Zaitan's forces enter battle, not against Lion's Arch, but at the heart of your order.
My order headquarters? No, how could that be? How could Zaitan even know?
Those who have been corrupted reveal everything to Zaitan. Nothing is secret, least of all those places where his enemies hide. Farewell, valiant souls. May your wild hunt be successful, and may your courage illuminate the dark of night.
That last line's super cool. May your courage illuminate the dark of the night. That's essentially the idea of the song we hear in this area, Fear Not This Night. It's kind of, the idea is that's her singing to her children. You even say her quite expressly say that. Touch her hand there. All right, so we get a choice. A trading post express, a bank, or a merchant express. So each of these items, when we consume it, will summon the various service to us. I'll go with a merchant express here.
Completion leads to satisfaction.
So Chahern here says, our friends among your order are in danger. We must act back. So this is like kind of crazy. I can see what Zaitan does. Basically, what he says is, okay, I'm going to take Claw Island and I'm going to attack Lion's Arch. He finds resistance there straight away. Where does he find resistance? He finds resistance at the harbor. He finds resistance in the center of the city. He finds resistance at the forts. He finds resistance in the orders. So then the orders go to regroup, gather, we do our various things. The Order of Whispers here got in contact with Professor Gore. The Pale Reavers get established, all of that stuff happens. But Zaitan doesn't give up. He says, right, fine, the orders resist me, I'll destroy the orders. And yeah, when we heard with the Derman Priory is under attack, and Zaitan is attacking even the Chantry of Secrets. Nothing remains, so we gotta go basically now. Nothing remains secret from Zaitan. If he corrupts someone, he seems to get their knowledge to an extent. And so without our secrecy, the Order of Whispers really doesn't have much to defend itself. So we got to get there quick. What I find a little bit concerning is that the Pale Tree knew of this somehow, or she seems to think she knows of this, and she will be bang on. We are about to get attacked. And yet she lets us faff around with the dream and the vision of awe. I don't know. I mean, it's also important that we see what might come. It's important that Chahern is given Caladbolg. Everything needs to happen very quickly, and we might not return to her. So, I don't know. Maybe she had to do it that way, but it does seem a bit goddamn uncaring, right? I like how every time we've walked to the back of Dead End Cave, there's been a random hero trying to train on Agent Zin over there. That's kind of funny. So yeah, this is a pretty cool part of the story, often forgotten about by players of these days. But the Chantry of Secrets does get attacked in critical blowback. Oh dear.
Something's wrong. It's too quiet, even for the Order of Whispers.
Is it quiet, Chahern? I can hear a very loud alarm. All right, so it's one of the alarm instances. So we're going to turn the environment audio down a little bit, which is a shame because we missed the sounds of the bats and the water trickling and that stuff. But yeah, okay, so Chahern, what is going on, man? He says, I hope we're not too late. And we can say, hey, I see you're holding Caladbolg. It's magnificent. And he says, the Pale Tree told me to wield it with honor. I do so, in her name. How did the Pale Tree know that the Orions would attack the Chantry? The dream holds memories of the Sylvari race. Only the tree sees them all. Where one of us might miss a connection, she can find the truth. So I guess the idea is she has memories from a few Sylvari that have recently been defeated by Zaitan. Remember, not corrupted, but at least defeated by Risen, and maybe she sort of knows, or the memories of some of those Sylvari saw hints that troops were amassing in various areas, but the Sylvari as individuals never put two and two together, but she can. But yeah, so pretty cool. We need to hurry. The Order needs us.
Chantry's greatest defense is its secrecy. Without that protection, all may be lost.
Oh, you're telling me. I absolutely agree. Okay, there must be survivors fighting in the Annex. We'll find them. Let's keep moving. So let's head on up. And you'll see things are very different now. It's all kind of green here. It's nasty.
Why are the alarms sounding?
And it's Timmy! Hello, Timmy! Oh, she's waving at us. What is this? There's some kind of crazy barrier? I guess we have defenses, right?
Lightbringer. Thank the six you're here. I was out on the beach and I heard alarms. Something terrible must be happening.
The Pale Tree warned us that Zaitan's forces would attack the Order. It seems the Risen got here first and triggered the Chantry's defenses.
If the Preceptors are still inside, then they're trapped. The dragon's minions are single-minded. They won't stop until everyone inside is dead.
We have to get in there. Demi, can you find the override?
I'll do my best. I'll turn off the security system.
Okay, I hope you will.
Tibble taught me a bit about thwarting these systems. Let me try a reboot.
Restarting systems. Power cycling in 3, 2, 1. System restore complete.
Hold your breath. This'll fix it. Or it'll fix us.
Hey!
That should do it. Let's go!
I love how she crouched down in, like, fear there as well. Like, oh god, is this again about... So Tibble is still from beyond the grave helping out. That's awesome. Thank the 6 gods, says this silly human. You're alive. What's going on? Zaitan's minions are attacking. Stay close. We must find the Preceptors and destroy the Orions or the Chantry will be lost. So you might be wondering now, okay, we know how the minions found out about this, but how did they get in? Well, there's quite a terrifying answer to that question. Let's move up. All the torches are no longer lit.
Stay close to me. We will protect you.
For the record.
Does she need protection? She seems pretty badass at this point. Okay, so Order of Whispers security bolt turrets. This is a really cool thing. I just want to be like trivia mode with you guys for a second. You notice lots of dead Whispers as we move up, including Hylic. Oh no. Actually, that's a risen Hylic. Okay, we're happy he's dead. But look at this bolt turret. This is a turret. The way it looks and spins and attacks and stuff, you very rarely ever see in Guild Wars 2. It's kind of strange. And by going behind it, it can't shoot us anymore. Or it ran out of ammo and had to reload. So it does basically no damage. It seems like a weird lost asset that the devs designed, developed, put in this one instance and almost nowhere else in the entire game. But it's really fantastic, isn't it? The way it rotates and stuff. It is not a kind of turret that we as an engineer can get, which is a bit of a shame. And you'll notice it dies almost instantly too. That's our Rock Dog. Just blew it up there. Good job, Rock Dog. High five. So yeah, I don't know. There's just all these cool little things in some of these instances that I always like. We can't get through that portal with all this mess going on. What mess? Uh-oh. All right, so there are Risen here. Why the turret's fighting against us, I don't know. Were the Risen smart enough to configure it versus us?
Lissa, shield my eyes. So many dead.
Oh dear, Lissa shield. Okay, here we go. So we got Hylic. Now, there was a mix of lots of races here in the Chantry. I would expect some corrupted allies and also just troops from elsewhere. We are at the Blood-Tide Coast, so lots of aquatic things would make sense. Risen Hylic, Risen Crate we see here. We can take that one out. This guy's quite low. How are you still so low? Wow. Someone was fighting this just a moment ago, it seems, and they've only just been taken out. Got some grubs. And I think our job now really is just to clear this. Now, you're still wondering about that surrogate, aren't you? It's disabled and not working. There's a metal bar here, but we can't use it to break this open or anything. We can use it to break open the head of this thrall, though. Oh my god, that was nice. So yeah, we still can't go through there, even with the attack in progress. They've managed to hide that gate, the purpose of which is still hidden to us. Moving up, we've got to keep clearing the antechamber. A dead grub there. A Hylic. You'll notice lots of Risen seem interested in the magical globe. Whether they comprehend or understand what they're looking at, I don't know. I mean, we hardly understand what exactly this is showing, do we? Except that it's got that fantastic thing where you can actually see land masses and regions miles away from where we actually are interior right now. It's so cool to think of what the Order of Whispers might actually know, you know? Okay, that should be the last one.
Showing more intelligence. Striking at the heart of your order? It's almost unfathomable.
I agree. Well, it makes sense, but yeah, I do not think the turrets can be shut down. We must destroy them, he says. There was only one and we broke it. Did we already read that dialogue and I just had a complete prime... Oh no, I lied. There is another one. This bolt turret. Let's take that.
They're dead. Yes. Quickly, try the door to the inner annex.
Okay, so Demi is running to the inner door now. Did that mean Traherne updated? We must find the Preceptors and destroy the Orions.
The door's not working. Sealed from the far side, perhaps.
Sounds reasonable. Hey, this locking mechanism was built by Tibble. He probably put an override password on it. Any idea what he'd use?
Well, I doubt Chantry does. I mean, he did know Tibble. He said he knew Tibble. Tibble wanted him to get out from all those books. Well, Chantry told him to get out. And Tibble was very happy. They both kind of were stuck doing study for a long time, right? And have been forced out into the open. So yeah, Demi says, this is the door to the main annex. You got the password to the lock, right? Chantry didn't update. So, yeah, we can't just walk in. We've got the control panel. This is really fun. I love what the devs do here. It says this mechanism is Tibble's work. There's a clear secondary circuit that needs some kind of activation element. And we get ferocity, dignity, or charisma. And it's not just click one of these and then something immediately happens. It's click one of these and it leads to another branch of options. So if we tried to force the lock by saying Tibble was a chariot heart, I can probably force it. You can, it's just it will blow up and set you on fire. Or we can say Tibble respected intelligence. Maybe there's a backup override. And you can fiddle around with the actual machine and put wires together. Or you can say Tibble trusted very few people. Maybe there's a password, which Demi also thought. So let's try this. And with this, we get this. It says further searching reveals an alphabetical lock on the mechanism. It requires a password. So what is the password, guys? Tibble never told us, but we can guess. So could it be dragon? I don't know. How about Legion? Because he was of the Legions. Tibble. Obviously, it's Tibble 1, guys. Or maybe apples? Okay, I think we all know it's going to be apples, right? The locking mechanism sparks and then harms to life. And the other options genuinely won't get you through. You have to guess the password correctly. Thanks, Tibble.
The portal's one way for safety. Only the Preceptors can open it from the far side. Once through, we won't be able to come back until we find them.
So hold on, if this is one way and we go in there, aren't we going to be trapped? This seems pretty dangerous. This port is prepared and ready to deliver passengers to the Chantry Annex. Weird thing, if you interact with this while Demi is speaking, you get like another very strange bit of dialogue where it says like, oh, it's charging up. And I don't really know why that's there, but there you go. So travel through the portal. Voila.
The Orions have tunneled in through the walls.
We have to rally everyone together and make a stand. Hurry!
So, the fight is going fiercely here, and yes, so as you can see, is Demi staying here? If we can find the Preceptors, they'll be able to make a plan, I just know it. Is she staying there, or is she helping us out? I love how she crouches down with that rifle. Yeah, the answer to the question of how they got here, they're burrowing through the walls and things. I mean, how terrifying is that? So we can start the instance with some bombs. Which we can drop, like, maybe at some risen entry points. Is that a thing? That won't actually work. I'll grab another one. We'll try and actually use it on someone. They have really long timers before they finally blow up, but they do, like, knock back and stuff when they do go off. So here, let's drop this into this cluster. And look, living people! But the idea that Zaitan can actually dig these tunnels just by throwing enough undead hands at it. There you go. There was the explosion, and we got the interrupts. Is sort of a really creepy idea to me. And almost taps a little bit like one of the Elder Dragons is an underground Elder Dragon, Primordus, with the Destroyers. And it's almost like Zaitan knows a little bit of that.
Damn good to see you. Quickly, we're needed in the main Annex chamber.
Oh, it's Dern. Dern, you legend. Yeah, I thought I saw a metal bar here. Let's grab this. So always the first to be on hand. Always the first to help us out. Oh, God, he's in another fight straight away. Here we go, guys. I'm here with the metal bar. I want to get him out of combat to see if we can talk to him, but I think we can't. It doesn't look like. My God, they're just going to charge from left to right, taking everyone out. Oh, no, we're spending so long talking. People are going down. Res them up. Go, 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 go. And so one of the reasons I really wanted to come here to the Annex to show you guys this in the other video was because if you don't take the time...
Dead are persistent. We'll meet you at the rally point.
Halvor, it's good to see you. If you don't take the time, your first time coming in here, really, or almost, I mean, there is that other instance a little bit ago, can be just with this huge attack, which is sort of sad to think about. Dern is soloing all of these guys. What an utter badass. Down he goes. And of course, there is still the mystery, guys. Now that everything's fallen to chaos, who knows what will come out. There is still the mystery of what's going on with the Master of Whispers. We still don't even know who leads us here. We just know about the Preceptors. Here he is. He says, I'm glad to see you. Find the other Preceptors and we'll make a stand. No, Dern, stop attacking. The waves just keep coming. Hold on. Let's clear these out and then see if we can talk to him real quick before another wave comes and distracts him. All right. No, that's to me. Dern. Glad to see you. Find the other Preceptors and we'll make a stand in the center of the Annex. How did this happen? How did the Risen get in? They came up through underground drainage tunnels, slaughtered the guard, just overwhelmed us. Hold this position. I'll see what else I can do. All right, so they're going to keep holding that. Demi might even stay with them. I'm not sure. Let's move on up now and blow these guys up. Good. Well done, Whispers. We got the camps. It looks like there's a big fight going on over there, though, as well. And so you see each of these holes with these boulders? This is where Risen were from. I wonder whether there was once going to be an idea of a mechanic where you'd plug these with the bombs and the boulders and stuff, but they never did it, so now you just find boulders strewn randomly around? Or I don't know. That's really a thing with Guild Wars. You're meant to be able to just pick up random weapons and assist you in battles, so maybe that's what they're doing. These guys have already dropped some turrets. That's cool. There's creators here. It's a regular agent. Our next job is to rescue Valens.
We need to gather them all.
Okay, so we'll follow Valens into the next fight now. Seems like everyone's moving in. Oh, wait. The first side room we want to do is all the way over here, near where Chorhern is battling. Good thing they still got a hill turret down. Hello, anybody here? Hello? That's Real. Hello, Real.
Rally at the center of the Annex. We need to know who's still alive.
Okay, that was pretty sneaky of you to just be there, not even really contributing to the fight just yet. Maybe she just defended herself on her own. Okay, there we go. And with everybody cleared and rescued and at the rally point, let's see what they say.
We thought we'd be safe in the Annex. The portal was sealed, the corridor defenses activated, but the Orions burrowed through the walls.
There must be some way to seal the tunnel so that the undead can't reach the Chantry, or some way to escape.
Impossible. We're trapped in here. Prepare for your final...
No, Halvora, there is a way. During the Chantry's construction, the Master of Whispers planted explosives in the island's foundation. A safeguard. If the Chantry were seized by our enemies, it would be destroyed. To ensure secrecy, the Preceptors were not told, though each Master of Whispers did pass the information on to their successor.
But if you know about it, Real, that means you're...
Yes, Lightbringer. I am the Master of Whispers.
Dun dun dun.
We must alter the device to detonate only the explosives in the Orient tunnels, not those beneath this chamber. Lightbringer, this task falls to you. The rest of us will defend you, if need be, with our lives. Do not fail.
Yes, Master. It will be done.
Hold them off as long as we can. Activate the device as soon as you're ready.
More Orions. To arms! Protect the Master of Whispers.
Whoa, we almost got attacked while I was in the conversation here. So, yes, these elite few people, the Preceptors, there is the big secret. It was real. So, I wonder how many of you guys, most of you watching probably already knew the answer to that. I have to say, when I first played the game, I fell for their red herring. I definitely thought it was Dern. Because he'd been just so important and prominent in so many places. He says, I'm ready. I'll keep the rest of the initiative safe. My life on it, Bracht. Halvora says, bombs are going to save us? Hells and hand baskets. I suppose if I'm in, I'm all in. Do it. Keep your fingers crossed. And yeah, Real says, recalibrate all 5 bombs, then return to the central annex and hit the detonator. Regardless of what happens to us, at least those Risen won't make it out of here. If our sacrifice saves others, it's worth the cost. Now, I kind of messed up when we first started the Order of Whispers thing quite a few videos ago now. In that I called Real a Preceptor, but she's not a Preceptor, which makes the whole, oh, she's the Master of Whispers make a little bit more sense. But yeah, she's quite unassuming, I think, and then to turn out that actually she's the puppet master that's been holding it all. And we're going to hear some very cool history about her soon. A remarkable idea. Directed explosives don't blow us up in the process. Right. And Chorhern won't speak to us right now. Let's grab each of these devices. We got 5 of them. Emergency protocols activated. Initiate bomb sequence. Enter new coordinates and arm the bomb.
This is incredibly advanced. I've never seen anything like it.
So, Demi overheard that, by the way, about the Master of Whispers. There's so many of them, I don't know how long we can hold out. Keep yourself together, we need everyone to fight. So let's go nice and quick over to this. Oh, I kind of messed up my rifle shot there. Okay, even more Risen. Yeah, and how creepy with the idea of them just charging in through the walls. I think someone has a really descriptive account of what it's like with just gore and blood and things mixed in with the rubble as they sort of explode in. It's nasty.
Stand together, fight together.
All right, that's 2 down. Moving all the way over. These ones are closer now. Let's head into this tent. Those guys are still defending themselves. I'm going to assume they can do it on their own. Okay, an A-bomb just came through this wall. Hello. All right, dodge, dodge, dodge. He's swinging so slowly, though. Okay, he's down. There you go. That's number 3. Everyone okay? Number 4 in here. We got double thralls to fight. There we go. We can blind them, blow them up with our grenades. Thank God there's no ammunition costs, because the amount of grenades we've thrown.
Almost there. Almost there.
Yep, to me, I'm well aware. All right, and then the last one. Everyone seems to be okay over there for now.
Die by my hand.
All the way back over here. There is, of course, still the question of, are these undead? None of them are particularly dangerous, except maybe a few A-bonds. So are they being led? Is there like a general around? Enter new coordinates. Voila, here we go. We're going to explode them. I guess it doesn't matter, because we are about to bring the town down. Oh, God. Okay, to me. One last wave by the switch to trigger them all. Detonation device. Explosives recalibrated. Odds of collapsing main chamber? 50%. What? We're doing this on a coin toss? I'll take that risk.
Did it work? Are we safe?
The tunnels are collapsed.
Watch out. Something must have been close to the surface when the explosion occurred. It's breaking through.
Oh, God. I spoke too soon.
Stand together. Fight together.
And so what do we have here? Did that dialogue update again? Gather your strength, Lightbringer. We fight as one, they say. What is this in the chamber? For Tyria and the Pale Tree, we will not fail. Real, I wanted to speak to, but I guess she's in combat. So check it out. We have a boss. Now, every single member of this fight does update their dialogue at this point, but we might not be able to get it because they're now in combat. They don't say anything great. They just sort of amp this up. But check it out. He's against the best of the Order of Whispers here. This is Admiral Fiest Bakir. Well, doesn't that sound kind of Orion? Well, yes. So this is one of the first big Orion generals that we will see.
The order itself is at stake.
Start to assault us as the story goes along. He's not quite a lich or anything, but he does seem to be from Ore itself. This isn't like a human like Thaddeus that was just corrupted in recent years.
Keep fighting, agents. It's getting weaker.
This is an old thing that has come from that risen land itself. And he's tanky as all hell, it seems. Keep blowing him up.
You cannot defeat the Order of Whispers, Dragon Slave.
Wow, I love the way she just keeps taunting it. And he definitely can't. I mean, we're way too much for him. And down he goes.
Friends and companions, the day is ours. The Chantry is safe. We defeated these abominations because we fight as one. It's a proud day for the Order.
You're right, Master. Traherne and I spoke with the Pale Tree. She said, with unity, many impossible things can be achieved. The Order of Whispers can't fight Zaitan alone. We may have the resources, but we don't have the knowledge, and we don't have the army. The other orders of Tyria are making futile plans to retake Claw Island. They will fail, unless we aid them.
Speak one word and the Priory scholars won't shut up for days. The Vigil's even worse. Those thickwits can barely form complete sentences.
You're wrong, Dawn. They're different, yes, but both have their own ways of fighting Zaitan. They could be our allies.
There are risks, but if you're sure the others will cooperate, it could benefit us. I trust you, Lightbringer, and I trust Traherne. Some years ago, he and I worked together to defeat my predecessor, who had been corrupted by the dragons. Since then, Traherne has kept my identity a secret. Go to the others, set up a meeting. Tell them that the Order of Whispers is stepping out of the shadows and wishes to collaborate.
Thank you, Master. I'll do everything I can.
I know so much about Gore, but I've done nothing to stop the devastation. Am I at fault?
Wow, I love how he doubts himself there.
And finished.
Wow, okay, there's a lot to talk about here. So, yes, Real hinting at her backstory there. This could explain Traherne's connection with Tibble. Why does Traherne know anything about the Order of Whispers? Well, it seems there's a story here that has never fully been told. Real will give us a little bit more information about it. She says, I knew that one day we'd find our lives in your hands. Don't worry, you're perfectly safe. We won the coin toss of 50-50. How many people know you're the Master of Whispers, we ask? She says, the Preceptors, a few agents, and you. Traherne, due to a strange twist in our past. No one else. So I love that it's not... They could have easily had this story of just been, oh, you're the only one that knows, shh. But no, they make it clear a few agents do know as well, including, I guess, Demi at this point. And she said, Trahearne, due to a strange twist, Trahearne knew the master before me became corrupted, she says. I had to put him down. Trahearne helped me save the Order of Whispers. What a cool idea for a story. So the previous Master of Whispers, which dragon corrupted the previous master? Could it have been Kralkatoric as he woke up? Was there a side of the story we didn't know there? Is it to do with Jormag, perhaps? Which was it? Is it something to do with the Destroyers? I love that thought. I really love that thought. And this is a mystery still, what Trahearne's involvement was here. A cool thing that hopefully at some point the devs will show us this part of their lives, you know? There's a form of the end game that might allow them to do that, which we'll talk about when we beat the game, but really, really exciting. So hold on, you trust him? You trust him with this information? Trahearne put his life on his line for the Order. I've trusted him implicitly ever since. So we get more of his backstory. And now here he is doubting himself that he's not done enough in the past. I mean, Christ, if it wasn't for him, the Order of Whispers might not be around. Why are you so reluctant to trust the other orders? So, a whole new development has begun. And this is the idea that the Order of Whispers have been attacked. And I think that's rattled their cages a bit. It's frightened them. And Bracht is able to worm his way in. So far, these orders have not cooperated. We don't really know the true deep reasons as to why. But they seem to just not respect one another, at the very least, as we heard from Dawn a second ago there. Who I now realize I've been pronouncing his name wrong, but whatever. So why are you so reluctant? She says their methodology seems self-destructive, and I don't like risking the Order of Whispers. Not now. Not with so much at stake. I suppose if it came close to being destroyed recently, then maybe I'd be conservative too. But we say I'd rather risk this than to sacrifice the world to Zhaitan. And definitely the ante has been upped from this undead dragon. We have to start acting. What's going to happen to the Chantry after this? She says, I need Halvora and Valenz to rebuild the Chantry's defenses and intelligence files. Dawn and I will pick new agents for this new union. So they're on a whole job now to rebuild this place and sort it out, which, unfortunately, mean guys, well, in some ways, unfortunately, our time at the Chantry now is limited as we will be moving on to greener pastures while everybody else stays to clean up the crap that was left behind from the Risen. So yeah, Real, the Master of Whispers, there it is. To me here, she says, I don't understand. Real's the Master of Whispers? She seems so unassuming. And I say, keep the secret. The Order's counting on us. Dawn says, damn good thing you were here, Bracht. As for the Master, she's trusted you for some time. All that's changed is that you now realize it. So Don is not the Master of Whispers, but he does still have all these weird mysteries and things associated with him. We'll learn a little bit more about him very soon. I won't let the Order down, we say. Trahearne says, though the Chantry is safe, there's still much to do. Claw Island. And then Ore. We will find a way. Valenz says, wise beyond your years and brave too. Thank you for saving my life. The Order needs you too. Remember that. And lastly, Halvora says, burn me. Work alongside these bookworms and instigators. You've got a good track record for being right, Bracht. I hope it continues. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I do have a good track record. We will be fine. And lastly, Trahearne. Though the Chantry... Oh, no, we already spoke to him. I wanted to talk to him about his lack of confidence there a little bit. But yeah, so with that done, the Order of Whispers is going to look to the other orders who also, if you may remember, may have been attacked for themselves. And we are going to meet together to join a gathering at the Claw Island Pier to attend the Order Summit in Lion's Arch. A pretty historic moment where the three orders will meet. And beyond that horizon, we're going to get in and see what they have to say at the end of the chapter now, with Professor Gore waiting next time. I hope to see you guys there.
How do you tell a friendly Hylic from an unfriendly one?
Different tribes are different colors. That's one way to distinguish them. But how do you tell friendly from foely?
Trial and error? If a red Hylic tears your arm off, you know to avoid the red Hylic.
Want some quick cash? Hydron Unit has 101 uses for Hylic poison, and they're willing to pay.
No, thank you. Hylic have only one use for Hylic poison, but it's an extremely effective one.